Welcome, children of the Most High God Yahweh. I am so grateful that you have taken a moment to watch this video because it's very important. This is June 12th, 2022. And this morning, before I was completely awake, the Most High was speaking to me. You know, sort of like a father who's waking you up. You're half asleep, but you can remember what he says. This is what he said this morning. And I'm not sure who this is, ministering to this morning, but it touched my spirit once I sort of woke up and wrote it down. So let me tell you what he said this morning. He said, I have waited for them. Talking about you, his burnt bronze, chosen, holy people. I have waited for them to come out of Babylon, but few have listened. I will repay every man according to his ways. Like dirty fingernails, I will cut you off. I saw in this, as he's speaking, I saw in my spiritual eye dream that it was, like the paper cutter, the big ones, for school, you're cutting off big, construction paper. I saw a hand with nails and that raised that blade and just came down and was cutting them off. And I believe what he's saying is just that. He's going to cut off those who refuse to allow themselves to be purified by coming away from Babylon. You can't, think about it, you can't get clean while you're playing in a mud puddle. Your mom is saying come out, your dad is saying come out because you got to take a shower. But you say, well, can't you watch me while I'm playing here in the mud puddle? No, he can't do that. And that's why he's calling his chosen burnt bronze sons and daughters out. Babylon is a wicked, whorish place. And you can see that it's been swirling all around us for 3 or 4 generations since slavery was over. We've tried to protect ourselves. We've tried to protect our children from it, but it just kept rolling on. And as the word says, we tried to cure Babylon, but Babylon wouldn't be cured. In Revelations also talks about how Babylon's sins has mounted up to heaven. So many sins that is up to the heavens. And so he's calling you out. And now he's getting a little tired of waiting on. There's some who have already come out. They've contacted me, spoken to me. I'm sure there's a lot of others that I don't know about. But the bulk of the Hebrew chosen people have not even, moved that meter, even considering leaving Babylon, the wickedest of whore, the wickedest of nations. And you know who I'm talking about when I'm saying Babylon. He goes on to say, now he's talking to those who refuse to obey, don't want to listen to his voice, because I truly believe his voice has gone out throughout all the earth, and especially in America, to warn his chosen people. And it's his voice speaks in a small, quiet way. And in our spirit, it's like a prompting to do something. And so a lot of us have heard it. We've heard that voice, but we're still connected to what we believe is most important, to what we believe is what we need, our only source of what we need. So now he's watching this, and I'm talking about Christians. He's watching this, and the time is going short. And he's going to tell you what's going to happen to those who continue to refuse to hear his voice. He said, you will stumble through the wilderness, dry land, no food to be found. You will eat the fruits of your own ways. The hopes you held on to in Babylon will bring you nothing. As she sinks, she will hate you and pull you down with her to the abyss. You have chosen your path. Then he goes on to say, the wicked are still playing. And we know what he means by the wicked. People are still going to clubs and bars and drinking, just like in the days of Noah, not paying attention to the signs that are all around them. And today we have more signs than probably they did in the old days. We can turn on the TV and see how things are basically falling apart in Babylon. And yet people are still clinging to her like a sinking ship. And so he's saying these things to, one, help wake up the ones who are, considering abandoning Babylon. And also it's an indictment. It's an indictment against those who have heard his voice, but still remain, still cling to that hope that Egypt is going to somehow supply what you need and protect you and take care of you and deliver you out of the trouble that's coming. She can't even deliver herself. How is she going to deliver you? Okay. Then it goes on to say, like I said, the wicked continue to do wickedness, playing, still doing all that. Even after COVID, they done went back to the clubs. They done went back to their old ways of life, the bars, the socializing, the things going on, Mardi Gras and all this stuff. And, colleges letting out for summer break and people doing all kind of things that Sodom and Gomorrah would sort of, look at and like, okay. So also he's saying, for the righteous who are still faking, pretending to listen to me, but going on in their own ways, living in the company of sinners. Now there's a part in the Bible that even speaks to that. It says, how is it that you're sitting in a nation growing old, sharing the defilement of the dead? In other words, as long as you hold on to a nation that's under the ban meaning God has banned it, he has marked it out for destruction, you are basically growing old there, dying. Defilement causes things to age quicker. You can lay stuff on the counter, food, and in a few hours, that stuff is going bad. Well, when you're in a nation that's wicked, immoral, just embracing it boldly, wholeheartedly. That's what homosexual, but that's part of it too. That they always saying pride. Yep. And do you know that's what the ancient book said that Sodom and Gomorrah had a problem with? They were full of pride, and their pride led them further and further down this immoral, degenerative state of mind until they were ready to rape angels. So Babylon is the same way. Okay. He says, these beings hate God. Those who participate in such things really hate God. They hate God and they hate his laws. And I'm going to share with you a great video. I'm just going to put this in really quickly. That the Lord has given me some powerful supernatural revelations about the universe, about what's outside the universe, about how man has been manipulated by these creatures. Real. We are not talking about spirits. We're talking about real creatures who have infiltrated mankind here on earth, and in collusion with those at the top. You know how people always say cabal and the rich. The rich aren't just the rich. They are also hybrids. They are also part of a whole conglomerate of beings that look human, and they basically are ruling the earth right now. And that's why you scratch your head and say, why are these people doing these strange things that they know? I mean, even a 4-year-old would know is wrong. That's because these creatures, these beings, they hate God. They are not benevolent. And they have been ruling and helping to rule this nation and the world for the last millennia, several times over. So we must understand, we are not to continue to participate in a nation that has obviously left the path of righteousness. If you do, you're going to get her same fate. Now, he wanted me to say this too. He's always listening to us. He listens to the mega churches preachers. He listens to the little small church on the corner. He's always listening and hearing what the messages that are going out to his people and to the universe. Because that message is, when we speak, and even our thoughts, he said he hears and sees everything. So these messages that these ministers are putting out are a lot of times true, but sometimes they're mixed with distortions and misunderstandings. One of those is the tribulation. Now you must understand, a lot of people say the tribulation, well, it's going to come on everybody. The Bible says it's going to come on the whole world. Okay. But you must understand the tribulation is a specific thing for a specific set of people. The tribulation is that discipline, that destruction that's coming on not just the wicked, but it's coming on those of the righteous who, profess to know and love God, but they never could make up their mind whether they want to follow and trust him. They trusted man more than they trust him. I've said that in previous videos. It grieves the Most High that by now we should trust the Most High more than we trust man. And you say, well, I do. No. If you're living in his nation and you're depending on him and his resources and what he's giving you, you're depending on man. You're not depending on God. Especially now at this juncture where he's asking his children to lead. Most of them who have really heard this little thing in their spirit, their argument is usually this. Watch this. Their argument is with themselves, and they're saying to themselves, but wait a minute. I worked many years to build this up. I worked years to get this home and the car and, my family and get my kids in college and all of this stuff. And can I actually leave all this behind after I worked all these years? I can't leave that behind. And besides, I don't know where I'm going, where God might call me to. It might not be all these things that I'm accustomed to. It might not be all these gadgets and electronics and things that he's calling me to. So I have to weigh whether this would be right for me or not. You see how it works? And we're talking about Christians. So deep down, they're serving Babylon, the whore. And they have a dilemma within themselves. Can I let her go and go off to something that I'm not sure of? Well, you said you're sure of God. You said every day in church, every Sunday in church, you profess that you trust God. Well, if you really, really trust him, then that shouldn't be a question, because he can give you more up ahead than what you leave behind. You see how it works? Trust is something you can't fake. You can fake words, you can fake attitudes, but trust is something you can't fake. And the word tells you, if you're afraid, if you don't have wisdom, ask for it. It's the same way with faith. If you don't have enough faith, you can ask God Most High, Yahweh, for more faith to do whatever it is he's calling you to do. Now, back to the tribulation. So, in, I believe it's Revelations 3:10, it tells you that those who stand on his side, he would protect and keep them from that day of trouble. Now you go read that for yourself. So that means there's a branch of us, there's a group of us that we can see, just like everybody else can see, that the end is near for Babylon. She's about to fall. But there's a large percentage of us that feel like, well, you know what? I'm just going to hang on until I see that happen. Well, you're the ones that's going to go into what is called tribulation with the wicked. You're going to be right there suffering in the tribulation. Now, there's going to be a couple tribulations. There's going to be one in the near future, and there's going to be one later on. But this one that's coming is going to be specific to America. And all those people who, couldn't separate from the wickedness, couldn't separate from the sin in America, watching it, experiencing it every day like Lot, but didn't want to do anything about it, that's for you too. That tribulation is for you. That after you go through that, if you make it through, if you don't die or if you don't, just end it because you can't take it, you're going to commit yourself to the Most High. You're going to be ready to submit. Humble yourself. Throw off that yoke of bondage and that delusion and that spell that Babylon casts, as the word says, over your mind, and you're going to be willing to seek the Most High 10 times harder. Some of us are doing that now. We're saying, you know what, Most High Father, you don't have to call me more than once. I'm here, I'm done, I'm out. The others who cling to those things that they think are important to them and their existence, you will learn the hard way that you had better answer when God calls the first time. So he's grieved. He's grieved in spirit that the time is running out. It's drawing closer and closer. You know, I did one video that warned everybody to try to be out of Babylon by 2023. This is 2022. Time is fast running out. That season is fast approaching. I'm not going to say that, at 2023, January 1st, everything's going to hit. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that your opportunity, if you wait until then, will have greatly diminished. And after that time, to comfortably remove yourself from the situation. Okay? All right. So, like I said, the forthcoming video that I'm going to do is really a profound one. What he showed me about him, how he came forth, how he built this universe, and how he prepared these human beings to be seated in the universe. That was his plan. Of course, we know Adam and Eve and what happened, in the midterm of all of that. But I'm going to share with you what he revealed to me, and it is awesome. It is profound. Even NASA does not know this and understand it. So you're going to be privileged to something that the world does not even know or understand. And I hope you will join me. I'm not going to give you a certain date because I'm still working on it, trying to listen to the Holy Spirit to line it up according to the way the Most High want me to present it. But what I can tell you is when he showed me some of this in a night vision when I was asleep, I tried in my little artistic endeavor to paint what I saw. And then I started over the course of days, I started asking him questions. Well, what is this? What is that? How did that come about? How did you come forth through that and begin to create? So I asked him questions and he gave me answers. And so I'm going to share what he revealed to me. And I hope you'll join me. And I'm going to keep giving you little notices about it. And when I know for sure the date I will put it up, then I will let you know. And I want you to tell your family, friends, everyone, because it's going to give you an understanding of how you ever wonder how you say, well, what is so important about the earth? Why is everything, sort of centered around the earth and Satan and what he did and what he continues to do in the earth? Ain't he got something better to do than hang around the earth and mess with humans and bother humans and try to undermine God's creation and all this stuff? There's a reason for that. And I'm going to explain that also. And truly, it's going to be an eye-opener for all of you who really are seeking the truth. And it's going to also solidify your understanding of who you are, why you're burnt bronze. A lot of this is in my book, The Stone Rejected. But this part is a revelation he gave me only a few weeks ago. But it also ties into the book. So what you're going to get is something that's you've never heard before, but which will solidify your understanding of how important God's kingdom is, God's chosen Hebrew people are, and what he is planning for the universe. So I thank you for taking the time to listen and prepare yourself for all these things. And this warning that I just read is for all those who still are on the fence. They haven't made up their mind what they want to do. You had better make up your mind, because the things that he has just described to you are going to manifest in time. So I thank you. May you be blessed. May you have a blessed evening, day, wherever you are. And continue to pray. Continue to seek the Most High for guidance. Thank you.